What's up, guys? So a little while ago, I read a great tweet from Brute DeForce, who I had on my Man-to-Man podcast series that many of you really liked. And he said, all your strife and pain can be traced back to thinking that you're more important than your mission. You're born a weapon specifically formed and honed to carry out your natural destiny. Getting big and strong and tough with no mission to actualize leads to mental ruin every time. I really like this point because I see this all the time in the self-development space. Guys essentially engaging in masturbatory self-development. And here's what I responded with. I said, it's easy to fall into the trap of being a collector of potential and mistake that for realizing your potential. And I'd say it's certainly better than collecting Pokemon cards, but it's the same energy. And I really think it is. I think we live in this world where people are constantly displaying these rather arbitrary status metrics. It's like, I took this many cold showers this month, or, I did, this many workouts, or I did X, Y, and Z. It's like, look at me, I'm doing something special. I'm doing a new diet. I'm doing a new challenge. I'm doing a new boot camp. And, people want to share this stuff. They want to show it off. And if you can do something that looks or sounds cool, then you will get attention for it and that sort of thing. But the problem is, even if you get attention for these things, if it doesn't fit into a higher level mission, then what are you doing? You're just collecting random habits and random, accomplishments that don't serve any higher goal. And that's what Brute was talking about here, is about you have a mission in life. And to summarize what that mission is for everyone, it's to pursue your highest conception of goodness. And so for most guys, it's got a big focus of this is on the career level. It's figuring out where and what problem can you really give a shit about to the point where you can not only get paid for it, but you produce a general surplus in value for society at large, right? Figuring out how to do that, that's hard as shit. It is. It's difficult. And most guys, they don't want to do that. So instead, what they do is they get really into Wim Hof breathing and just take ice baths. And they think that they're making their life better. And they might be completely right. That might be exactly what it is that you're supposed to be doing at any given point. Because sometimes we just need to get tougher. Sometimes we need to have a period of working on ourselves where we are showing ourselves that we have strength, showing ourselves that we can form new habits, we can do new things. But at a certain point, it's got to plug back into a bigger picture. It has to plug back into, well, what are you doing in the world? What are you doing in your family? What are you doing with that creative impulse that is inside of you? And we want to be careful that we're not just trying to follow all the gurus, do all the hacks, build all the habits with no higher purpose or vision in mind. Because you can't even tell if a habit is good or bad unless you have some mission to orient it around. Every guy needs to have a mission. And these missions don't necessarily need to be the lifelong calling vocation style mission, okay? It can be a short-term thing. It can be something as simple as, I'm going to quit porn right now. And yeah, that could be awesome. That could be all you need to orient your life and to orient all your habits and stuff like that. And if you do that, it'll be dramatically good and wonderful and all these kinds of things. But that's not it. That's not the end game. For a lot of guys, that quitting porn stuff, that's just getting started. That's just beginning to play the game. And you can't stop there. In fact, I've seen guys, they will almost trap themselves in a perpetual period of quitting porn. They'll get 90 days or beyond and then they'll relapse. And then I think a lot of times they do it is because they don't want to climb a new mountain. They're like, it was so hard to quit porn. I felt so alive doing it. I felt good about myself. And now I did it. And I don't know, these other mountains over here that I'm supposed to climb, they look scary. They look hard. So maybe I'll just climb this one again. I'll just do porn again. And it's not going to work, man. It's not going to work. Same thing with just shifting to some other random habit, have a mission, have an ideal. And even if your mission and ideal right now is just removing some of your worst escapes and replacing it with self-care, that's awesome. Just know that at a certain point, you're going to have to shift perspective again. You have to shift goals again. You have to figure out how to continuously play a bigger game. Because if you're not playing bigger, if you're not growing, you're dying. That's the way life works here. It's like either you are advancing and evolving, or you are stagnating, decaying, and devolving. We don't want that, obviously. And so I just figured it's important to talk about this because of how faddish our culture is and how easily people can get hooked in to, I tape my mouth when I sleep, or, I exercise my jaw muscles, or, whatever the next freaking fad's going to be. Oh, I wear my little Whoop tracker. Like, again, these things aren't necessarily bad. And sometimes they're exactly what you need to be doing. Just don't ever confuse like the idea of doing like one good thing with having a mission. Okay, there's always got to be a bigger picture. You got to be striving for something more, and you got to be willing to update it. And as long as you're willing to play that game, go ahead, go on your adventure, play with all the stuff. I do. I've tried all this faddish stuff out, and I will continue to monitor it and pay attention to it and probably play around with it because that's part of the fun. You just got to make sure you're doing it right and you're not kidding yourself. So if you are interested in developing a real framework for how to make focused shifts, okay, you want to make like big changes in your life continuously, then you want to check out the Self-Mastery Club, because in it I've developed a framework that allows you to focus down massive lifestyle change after massive lifestyle change and keep playing this game of personal evolution in a way that is not masturbatory and is ultimately extremely fruitful for your fulfillment. So if you want to learn how to do that, check out the Self-Mastery Club. In fact, just check out the Manhood Mastery training I'm linking right here in the description, and I will teach you some of these core mechanics for free. So check that out. That's what I have for you guys today. Ooh, yeah. See you on the next one.